Hello guys and welcome back to Mystery Truth. Happy Good Friday to you wherever you are. Today we bring you an explanatory details of the secret history of Area 51. You may have heard about the viral meme that could lead to people storming Nevada's famed Area 51 in order to uncover the secrets of the mysterious US Air Force base. It's an absurd idea. The Air Force has warned that it will defend the facility vigorously, but the impulse behind it is perhaps understandable. For decades, the American imagination has run wild, conjuring up all sorts of conspiracy theories about what is really going on at the site. Is it a place where the United States government is hiding UFOs and aliens? Or is it just a boring military base? And if it's just a boring military base, why is the US government so obsessed with keeping everything about it a secret? To get some answers without risking getting shot at by the United States military, I called up Annie Jacobsen, the author of the book Area 51, an uncensored history of America's top secret military base. To write the book, Jacobsen interviewed about 70 people who had first-hand knowledge of the secret facility, including 32 who lived and worked at Area 51. The result is basically the most comprehensive account of the history of Area 51 you can get without a super high-level security clearance. Our conversation, lightly edited for length and clarity, follows. This is a conversation between Alex Ward and Annie Jacobsen. And Alex Ward asked, okay, let's get right to it. What is Area 51? And Jacobsen answered, Area 51 was the birthplace of overhead espionage for the CIA. It is where the U-2 spy plane was first built back in the 1950s. And it is where the intelligence community has worked with its military partners and others to work on espionage platforms. It's also a place where all elements of the Defense Department work on some of their most classified programs, along with members of the intelligence community, of which there are many. There is also an element of Area 51 where the CIA trains its foreign paramilitary partners in counter-terrorism tactics. They do this out on the wards of Area 51 because they can bring some foreign fighters there who would otherwise not be welcomed into the country. So the US can fly them in a plane with the windows drawn, drop them off, train them, and neither the fighter nor the American public have any idea where they were or what was going on. Alex Ward asked again, how important has Area 51 been developing America's spying capabilities? Jacobsen answered, we would not have the kinds of incredible overhead espionage technology that we have today without the existence of Area 51. It allowed the different wings of the federal government to pursue technologies in a very large open area that they could otherwise not pursue. The U-2 spy plane flew at 70,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. Think about how much work you have to do to make something like that. It was this incredibly delicate plane. Pilots died out there testing it. But it taught the powers that be that with this incredible effort of testing, you could achieve radical technologies. Alex Ward asked again, why did this place become such a hotbed for spying technology and training? Is it just because it's so remote and so big? Jacobsen answered, when the base was founded back in the early 50s, President Eisenhower tasked a guy named Richard Bezel from the CIA to find the most remote, most secretive place in the United States where they could work on the U-2 spy plane, away from any prying eyes, Soviets or otherwise. So Bezel smartly flew around with another CIA fellow and found the perfect fulfillment of that presidential request. A secret base centered around a dry lake bed in the middle of Nevada, located inside an already classified facility where the government was exploding nuclear weapons. There was no way Bezel realized that anyone was going to try to get into the facility. Why would they want to? There were bombs going off. Alex Ward asked again. Everything about Area 51 screams secrecy. Not just the location, but those who work there are brought into a very secretive culture in which it's extremely taboo to divulge anything. So how did the UFOs and aliens narrative come about? Jacobsen answered, well, it remained obscured to the outside world until the late 1980s when an engineer named Bob Lazar went on a local Nevada news program and stated that he had worked at Area 51 on a flying saucer that he believed had come from outer space. Bob Lazar also told the public he thought he saw an alien. That was the moment Area 51 became a public fascination. It had been completely cloaked in secrecy before that. And in all the decades since, interest in the site has gained momentum around two ideas. The theory that the United States military has been reversed, engineering UFOs and alien technology at the site, and the truth about the base that some of the most remarkably advanced technology platforms have been created and tested out there. Alex Ward asked, why haven't any real secrets come out though? Jacobsen answered, bits and pieces of rumors would emerge over the decades, but the CIA had a very hefty disinformation and misinformation campaign going on out of Area 51. The best example is in the 50s when the U-2 spy plane was occasionally spotted. It basically looked like a flying crossway, way up high in the sky, and people would write to their congressmen and say, I saw a UFO, nothing flies this high. They were right in that regard. Nothing did fly that high as far as anyone knew. And so the CIA, as we know from the classified documents now, used that misidentification to their advantage. It let the UFO mythology evolve because it served as a useful cover for the secret base. Alex Ward asked again, did the CIA propagate the alien story too? And Jacobsen answered, I don't know of the CIA using the alien myth. I have never heard of it, but that's a great question. No one's actually ever asked me that. Ward asked, okay, so we have this secretive testing site for overhead spy aircraft. What does this mysterious place actually look like? Jacobsen said, Area 51 is part of the Nevada Test and Training Range, which is a large federal piece of property. It's roughly the size of Connecticut. Area 51 is a tiny parcel of land in that area that surrounds this dry lake bed. The exact dimensions obviously have never been reported, but you can hazard a guess based on looking at the map. We know what happened in the 50s through the 70s, which was basically work on advanced aircraft for spying. But what gets very mysterious is what was going on in the 90s and the 2000s, and certainly ever since the War on Terror. I have absolutely no information about that. It's a jealously guarded secret. But you can be sure that whatever is being built and tested out there has evolved from the technology systems that were worked on before. We know the base is still flourishing despite people saying it's not. The first president to state the word or phrase Area 51 publicly was President Obama during an award ceremony at the Kennedy Center. And when he did that, in essence, the words Area 51 became declassified. Ward asked, the secrecy around Area 51 is surely what is making thousands say they want to storm that region. What will they see on the very off chance they try and succeed? Jacobsen said, I couldn't even begin to speculate on whether or not anyone could get into Area 51 to see what's going on because it's fundamentally impossible. To think that the government isn't uniquely aware of everyone who goes anywhere near the facility is naive. A group of people massing anywhere near that facility is not going to happen. Local law enforcement would step in a preemptive manner far before that happened. Alex Ward asked, when people ask you to divulge some of the secrets you learned from Area 51, what do you tell them? Jacobsen replied, well, first I send them to my book, of course. Separate from that, I have interviewed scores of very smart, very highly placed government personnel who visited the base and believe the technology they saw is so advanced that they question whether or not it's man-made. That's intriguing to me. I don't report on that because there is no documentation to support that claim. but that is the opinion of many people that I know. Alex Ward asked, to be clear, these are the people who worked on the programs. Who are these particular people? And Jacobsen replied, no, these are individuals who have visited the base and have been asked their expert opinion and analysis on classified information. Alex Ward asked, just based on that, if someone were to ask you, and I guess that someone would be me, would you say with 100% confidence that there is no out of this world technology being worked on at Area 51? Jacobsen replied, I report my books based on what qualified, competent, multi-sourced individuals tell me, and then I strive to back up information based on the classified documents that exist on the record. So I steer clear of reporting things that are observed but can't be verified. And Alex Ward said, fair enough, though that's fascinating to me. What also intrigued me about what I learned from your book is that Area 51 seems like the quintessential Cold War location. And Jacobsen said, that's a great observation on your part, and I believe speaks to the broader secrecy campaign at work in Area 51's favor. One would argue that all this business of captured UFOs from outer space and aliens is terrific chatter, right? Look over here and people get to think, oh, Area 51 is just a Cold War relic. Wow, what a beautiful insight on the conspiracy surrounding Area 51 and whatever you have to say concerning all these conspiracies. You drop your comments in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.